Here we go. Only thing matters is a win. That's it. Whatever it takes. Let's go, man. Let's win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The following is a KSAM Sports Network presentation. It's Friday night in Hornets country. This is Huntsville Hornets High School Football. Proudly brought to you by First Financial Bank, Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club, HITTSS Solutions, SHSU Auxiliary Services, Daiquiri Beebe Abbey Realty, Charlie's Used Cars, Walker County Federal Credit Union, On the Move Physical Therapy and Wellness, Heartfield Florist, Moak and Moak Attorneys at Law, MRC Creekside, Murray Insurance and Financial Services, Climatec Secure Storage, the City of Huntsville, Fat Boys Pizza, Adams Furniture, Bill Fick Ford, Community Service Credit Union, Ironworks Health Club, Wiesner of Huntsville, Huntsville Independent School District, Whataburger, Nelson Amaya's Collision Center. Now, live from the Copeland Family Dentistry broadcast booth, here's Rob Hipp and Brian Adams.
Oh, it is August, it is hot, and we are ready for high school football here on 101.7 KSAM and the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rob Hipp alongside Brian Adams, the former Huntsville Hornet football player back in the day. Brian, so good to be back. We were calling a national championship in May. Here we are a couple of months later. It's high school football alive and well here in East Texas.
I mean, you just got to love it. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, you're right, Rob. It was so much fun being in Frisco, having Sam Houston win the national championship, and then 2.5 months later, we turn around and we're back doing it again. I love it. Man, we're out here. The Hornets are going to scrimmage Lufkin, and man, it's football time.
We'll have some video of the game. Now, the way the format works with the scrimmage, you really can't call a play-by-play game of a scrimmage. So this show today is more of a preview of the season coming up. We'll talk a little bit about last season. We'll dig into this season and all those wonderful things. For now, though, we're going to step aside. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this scrimmage, how the formatting works. And then a little bit later on, we'll have Southern talk. Stay with us. This is Huntsville Hornet Football, the new season right here on the home of the Hornets, 101.7 KSAM. And the Huntsville Hornet Broadcast Network.
Advantage Specialties is your one-stop shop for promotional needs. Need a logo on a shirt or hat? Advantage Specialties provides embroidery in-house. This helps to make the process fast and affordable. What about promotional products, banners, signs? Advantage Specialties can help get your name on virtually anything. For custom in-house embroidery, promotional products, printing, and much more, check out AdvantageSpecialties.com. That's AdvantageSpecialties.com. Eat 'em up, cats, and sting 'em, Hornets.
On the campus of Sam Houston State University is the historical University Hotel. It's a heartbeat away from the campus center, Bauer Stadium, the Don Sanders Baseball Stadium, and the Sam Houston Memorial Museum. Dignitaries from all walks of life have been here. Let the hotel host your special events like graduation, holiday parties, or professional gatherings. Come stay, come visit, come see the University Hotel at Sam Houston State University, shsuhotel.org.
Hometown proud, Hornet strong. KSAM is your hometown radio station.
Welcome back, friends. Rob Hipp alongside Brian Adams, live from the Copeland Family Dentistry broadcast booth this season, presented by our good friends at First Financial Bank. You know, Brian, last season, a great one for the Hornets, but it was that third round again. That's kind of been the trip up, if you will. But Coach Southern feels confident about this season. You know, last year we go undefeated in 10-5 AD2, took care of business, went through the first rounds, second round, third, hit Crosby. That's been a road bump. That game, though, went to overtime, of course, and just weren't able to secure the victory. But here today, looking for a turnaround as we start the season officially next week. But, Brian, just quickly, your thoughts on last season and how we're shaping up this year, man.
You know what? Last season was a great season for the Hornets, and it's been that way since Coach Rodney Southern has been here. I mean, he's turned the program around. They've been into the playoffs every year, and they've made it to the quarterfinals again last year in the third round. You know, unfortunately, losing to Crosby. So here's the deal. When you're playing high-level football like this in high school, I mean, you've got to be good. But you also got to have a little bit of luck, and you got to have that come together all at the same time. And unfortunately, last year there was a penalty that kind of pushed our kicking team back 5 yards. They had to re-kick a field goal attempt. You know, that's just tough. It's just bad luck. But here, starting out this year, man, the The hype is going to be just tremendous. I mean, they've got some talented kids back. Let me tell you, this offense, Rob, A.J. Wilson, let me tell you, from a former quarterback standpoint, I am so excited to watch this young man. I have seen him as a sophomore. He got to play quite a bit. He's matured. He's got a second season under his belt. He is going to be outrageous.
Well, looking forward to his action, of course. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, as we talk a little bit more about this season coming in, the offense looks pretty good. Most of the kids returning that we had on the team last year. So still going to have that high-powered offense. If you'll remember a season ago, many of them juniors. Now, of course, as seniors, the leadership under A.J. Wilson and all those behind him, that's going to play an important factor. But Coach Southern has said this, a very young defense this year. We lost 8 starters on the defensive side. Of course, Ed, Brian Bobino, those were big losses, but there's going to be kids that are going to step up.
Absolutely there is. I mean, there's kids in the pipeline that's what you do. That's what a good program is all about, because you're going to have kids that graduate and move on, and you got to have their replacements ready to go. And, of course, Huntsville has that. One thing Huntsville has that is also very impressive, Rob, is they have some team speed like you've never seen. Unbelievable team speed. They're going to have some experience on the offensive side. Yeah, they're going to have a young defense, but a very aggressive defense. But their team speed overall is just going to be crazy.
We had a chance to catch up with Coach Southern as we continue here previewing the upcoming 2021 season. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll send it back to the studio for Southern Talk presented by Charlie's Used Cars. It's going to be an extended conversation with Coach Southern, 2 parts of it. Make sure to stay on and join us for that as we step aside and take a break. Southern Talk coming up as we start the season here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza! Oh man, it's so good! You've never tasted pizza this good! Be sure to check out the Dumpster Fire! Loaded with 17 toppings and 6 naked wings! 5 pounds of pizza! Only $25.99! And includes 4 dipping sauces at Fat Boys Pizza! Check them out at Facebook.com/FatBoysPizzaTrailer or make the short drive up Highway 19 in Riverside. Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza proudly supports the Hornets! Sting 'em!
This is Robert Lindeman of HITTSS Solutions Player Development, helping instruct the stars to shine. HITTSS Solutions Player Development teaches the fundamentals of baseball and softball with proven offensive and defensive strategies and techniques. We instruct and inspire each player to be the best they can be by teaching the mental side of the game. To have the confidence to bring in the game-winning hit, visit us online at HITTSS.com. HITTSS Solutions, a proud supporter of Huntsville Athletics. In God we trust, press on to win.
It's time for Southern Talk with Hornet head coach Rodney Southern, brought to you by Charlie's Used Cars. An in-depth discussion about this week's Hornet opponent. Now here's the coach with Rob Hipp.
Rob Hipp here with Huntsville Hornet head football coach Rodney Southern as we preview this year, thankfully being able to get started on time. Just what have things been like in the offseason, Coach?
Well, overall, we're actually really good. You know, we were able to get back and obviously having a spring training and being able to we got 16 practices, which, now with what the UIL allows us to do in the summer, we had 34 days in the summer where we did football. We did, of course, our junior high and high school 7-on-7 leagues in the summer. And, overall, other than the fact we didn't have our turf field that is being replaced right now. But other than that, we've had a great spring and a great summer. And the kids have done really well adjusting this fall. Back to starting in 100-degree heat and getting acclimated to, what you got to do to start fall football the way it should be. But overall, we've really done a good job. Our kids have done a good job. I think our coaches have done a good job handling it. So I think we're ready to go.
Do you feel that there's kind of a sense of returning to normalcy in some aspects compared to what we were going through last year?
Well, I think just the fact that you're here and you're not, I don't want to say worried about it because we've talked about it. We're still fumigating and cleaning buildings and doing all the things that you need to do. But I think, as people, you want to be active and you want to be interactive with other folks, and the ability to do what we've done in the summer, and hopefully, in the future, UIL is going to continue to allow us to do that time in the summer, because that's so critical for a kid's development. And it also now we don't have to wear them out in the first part of August to try to get them ready. If they take care of their business in the summer, they're ready already. And I think that part of being normal for kids is very important.
One of the biggest things, of course, in the off season, that bond getting passed. How important is that to your program? I know, of course, academically, all the schools are getting upgrades, but on the athletic side, a new stadium, you mentioned the field earlier, that's already being put in place, and we'll see that here tonight during the scrimmage. How important has that bond been for this community and just kind of the spirit of everything happening here that you've noticed throughout the school?
Well, I think our kids, we've used it as coaches, and I've explained it to them in terms of, our expectations as a football program now is hopefully gets higher every year. We've talked about, we've been to the fourth round, we've been to the third round, we've been to the third round. We've got to get beyond that. And to be able to have those expectations, but now, in a matter of hopefully 18 to 24 months, to be able to put facilities in place that gets us equal to other people. Everybody talks about, it's great, but everybody's got a baseball and softball field. Everybody's got, for the most part, their own stadium. So it's getting us on a level playing field. Now the practice areas and obviously a new football field house is going to be critical for the growth of our program. And then from the community side, I've been a part of 2 or 3 bonds, and I've never seen a bond pass at the rate ours passed, especially the athletic portion of it. For 72% of our people to say this is important tells you that, athletics in this community is a priority for people. And people that understand athletics understand that these kids also have to take care of their school business or they can't be a part of this. So I think overall our community's seeing a lot of growth. They're seeing a lot more trust in our school district in terms of what we're providing for their kids. And obviously a brand new football stadium is going to provide not only for football and soccer and band and cheer and dance and all of those different types of groups that are going to benefit from this.
Coach, before we really preview this upcoming season, of course, there's been a culture shift here over the years that you've been here. A lot of folks are talking about just how tight the program is now, how these kids are really embracing your philosophy and your staff. Maybe highlight a little bit of that and just what this journey has been like for you so far. Of course, your son graduated a year before last. You're still here. You're very in the community. Mention a little bit about that and just how important and how much that means to you.
Well, this is a place that's very similar to my hometown. And I've told anybody that will listen to me that, when you inherit a situation, a lot of times we always, it's the kids this and the kids that. And I've told everybody to listen, kids are kids. These kids had done nothing wrong. There was some leadership issues. There were some program issues. There were some things that needed to be corrected. And fortunately, we've been able to correct the majority of those things. Now, there was a culture of not understanding what it required to be successful. But the other underlying thing here, years ago, there was a culture of understanding success. The Joe Clements era is probably, one of the most successful eras in high school football, period. But obviously here during that time, but, that's been several generations ago. Now those dads that played for Joe, a lot of them, either their kids and then maybe even some granddads that are involved. But I just believe when you're in the role that I've been blessed to be in, you need to be a part of every facet of what goes on. We're active in the middle school. We're active with our middle school coaches. Our program is from the ground up. As soon as the district, when we get Mance Park Middle School configured with 6th graders, we're going to have pre-athletics. So we're going to get them a year earlier. And there's a lot of good things that are happening because this community, I think, has decided again to step up and truly, and obviously the bond was part of that. But, I want a place that's got expectations, that want you to be successful, and they want you to discipline their kids too. And we do that hopefully the right way. But at the same time, they're going to be young men that are going to have to go out in this world at some point, and we want to make sure they're ready for that.
Last year, talking a lot about BTS, be the standard. Maybe what's the tagline, the motto heading into this year, Coach? Have y'all put that together?
Yeah, the biggest thing for us now is, our hashtag. It's become that, and I don't really like that. But I'm not a hashtagger as much as I am, I guess, a realist about what I said. We got to take the next step. So our hashtag is TNS. We've been very close the last 4 years of being able to play for a state championship. And, I even shared with Dr. Shepard when we were talking after the bond passed, the groups of kids that we have coming that are going to be in a new field house and a new stadium. We're going to have every opportunity to compete, hopefully, for the highest level that there is. That's obviously to try to get to a point where you can play for a state championship. And obviously, if you play for it, you want to win it. But the next step for us is the most difficult, because when you get to the third, fourth round of the playoffs, we know we're going to see a team in this region that can run. Fort Bend, Marshall, Crosby, of course, are the two that have knocked us out the last 3 years. And the thing about it, all three of those teams played for the state championship. So we've got to be able to get beyond that point, and that's going to be tough. But if we don't set that bar that high every year, then we might as well not be doing what we're doing.
We're talking with head football coach Rodney Southern of the Huntsville Hornets. We'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about more of this upcoming season. Stay with us. This is the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
Hi, I'm Kirby Kaysen, president at First Financial Bank. Please stop by and see us, whether it be for a commercial, consumer, mortgage loan, or new account. We have a huge array of products to make your banking easy and convenient. Whatever your banking needs may be, our team is here to help. We are proud to be a strong bank committed to our community and our customers. At First Financial, it's you first. Eat 'em up cats. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is BJ McMichael, Minister of Students and Outreach at University Heights Baptist Church. I'm a proud 1993 Hornet graduate and 1998 Bearcat graduate. Here at University Heights, we cultivate people who make Jesus known by the lives we live and the conversations we have. This happens through three primary relationships: relationship with God, each other, and the world. We have some exciting next-gen ministry opportunities for all our birth through 12th grade Hornets and future Bearcats. Our weekly schedule and worship times are available online at uhbc.net or through our UHBC app. Sting 'em Hornets and eat 'em up cats.
Rob Hipp back with head football coach Rodney Southern, previewing the upcoming Huntsville Hornet football season. Coach, we've talked a lot about just things in the past, a little bit of things, how they're moving forward. Let's dig in briefly on the defensive side of the ball. There's been some changes there, of course. In the high school realm, you lose players. I mean, you lose players at any realm, but so much in the high school level as well. You've got kids moving on, going up to college. You lost 8 starters, I believe, on defense. How are things shaping up on that defensive side of the ball that's always been a big staple of this program?
Well, the thing we've done over the last 3 or 4 years is, and people know because they're all playing in college now, or a majority of them, we've had, a really good number of offensive linemen, and we've also had a star in that group every year. We lost some of those key guys, and I tell the guys the same way I tell coaches: you're never going to replace Tavondre Sweat or Ed Bobino or whoever you put name-wise. You have to fill their spot. And we're going to fill those spots with guys that don't have a lot of varsity experience. And you're going to face that a year from now. We're going to face it on offense. We're going to lose 9 starters offensively a year from now. So you have to be able to kind of plug in. Obviously, we've got 2 or 3 guys that have been back. We've got some others that played on the varsity, but they didn't have the impact that they're going to have this year. So they're going to be reliable. We're going to be young defensively. We're going to look different because obviously we're not going to be as big up front. But, these kids believe in our scheme. I would put Coach Schroeder, our D coordinator, up against anybody in terms of preparation for what our kids are prepared for when the season happens. But some of them are going to be green and hadn't had a lot of varsity experience. So, they're going to make mistakes, and we've got to be able to correct it and get them lined up the right way and do the best we can to stop people and give our offense the ball back, because obviously that's where the majority of our experience is in terms of a varsity.
I noticed some of the kids, Calvin Simmons, I don't usually call out too many names, but Calvin Simmons bulked up in the offseason. I saw him at the towel scrimmage, and I told him I was having a hard time getting up that hill. He said, come work out with us. I said, man, I'd only last 5 minutes with you guys. So just how important is that, that early preseason, off-season workout regimen, if you will?
Well, I think back to, UIL giving us the tools to be able to work in the summer. We get 2 hours of strength and conditioning, and then we get an hour of skills. So we have them from 7:30 to basically to 10:30. And we have them in a situation where we used to couldn't even bring a football out there, to now where we can divide that up into, install and practice time. We get all the physical part in the strength and conditioning of it. So to me, that's, UIL made that decision several years ago. And then I think the COVID situation, they gave us more time. And I think that's been invaluable in the growth of programs, especially when you have, we have some kids that have to work in the summer, and we understand that, and they're going to miss some of that time. But at the same time, the core of our kids were here all summer. So, day one, we're not worried about conditioning and, getting kids in shape. You should never get out of shape. But the COVID year, especially when the online stuff was happening, obviously there were kids and parents that were scared, and you understand that. So those kids might be a little behind, but I mean, we did our towel scrimmage Saturday, and I feel like, coming out of that, I say, could we play a game after that? Now, it might be sloppy, but I think we could have played a game Monday after that scrimmage. And part of that is we do a good job in pre-camp, but the big part of that is the fact that we have that much time in the summer now.
We've talked about defense, talked about just that time of working out in the early season, the preseason, the off season. Now we look ahead on the offensive side of the ball. Coach, talk a little bit about some of those returners. Of course, A.J. Wilson is a senior now and showing his leadership, played all season last year, and of course had a few games the season before that. Just his role, his leadership, and how have these other seniors really stepped up this year, and what can we expect from the offense?
Well, we, from an expectation standpoint, you look and say at some point there's going to be 9 guys out there that played 12 games last year. We started 3 sophomores on the O-line, so obviously all 3 of them are a year physically bigger and stronger, all 3 of them, and they're physically more mature. But 4 of the 5 starters on the offensive line started last year, and they started in all 3 playoff games. AJ's obviously improved physically. He's gotten a little bit bigger. But I think his throwing the ball from an accuracy standpoint over the summer, 7-on-7 league, and obviously we played in 2 7-on-7 qualifying tournaments, and just the ability to go out there and call our offense, because we can't be a part of that in terms of the coaching side. But you also got 4 or 5 receivers and tight ends that have all played a lot that we're going to rely tremendously on, and both running backs. Having all of those skill kids now allows us to obviously be a little bit able to do things, and to be able to move a guy from, Justin Butcher's going to play running back. He's going to play in the slot. He's going to play receiver. Matthew Long and Trey Taylor are going to play tight end, but they're both going to be able to stand up. Matthew Long's going to play a little on the defensive side as well. So, having guys that are experienced and in great shape, because all of those guys right now could go play a game, and from a physical standpoint, they know, and from a mental standpoint, we joke with Justin Butcher, this is year 4 for him on the varsity. So he's a guy we've got to rely on. Now, we've got to stay healthy, but we've also got a couple young guys that may get a little action in there. So we feel really good offensively. Right now we're practicing 19 offensive linemen, which is the biggest number we've had in the 8 years we've been here. So, and if 10 of those are on the JV, that means we've got 8 starters offensive line-wise that could go in and play. And, because you're always going to have a risk of losing an O-lineman at some point. We've been very fortunate from an injury standpoint. We haven't lost a lot of kids because we've learned how to practice, and we're in great shape too. So, but the expectations, people are going to expect us to score offensively because of all that experience.
Coach, we talked about offense, defense, of course, and one area of football that's just as equally as important as both of those is special teams. What's the special teams situation this year looking like? And give us a little preview about that.
Well, the big thing, again, we've got experience there. Christian Avilar's, this will be his third year, and he actually was thrown into a playoff game in NRG the week of Thanksgiving as a freshman, and had to kick off and had to kick extra points. And Christian's been tremendous for us, his entire career here. And Marco Solis is also a kicker who came out from soccer a couple years ago, so we feel really good there. Christian will do some punting. AJ is also going to do some punting as well. And right now with the experience, those guys have as much experience as what we've got offensively and defensively in certain spots. So now we just got to put them in situations to succeed when they need to kick a big kick.
Looking forward to the upcoming season. As always, Coach, just appreciate your time and accessibility, and we'll get out there and sting them. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
The Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club thanks the Huntsville community for your support of Hornet football. Are you interested in knowing more about the Hornet football program? Would you like to be involved? Meetings and membership are open to the public. Please like the page on Facebook, search for Huntsville Hornet Football, or go to facebook.com/Huntsville ISD Hornet Football. You can watch Hornet football live all season long at ksam1017.com. Join the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club today. Sting 'em, Hornets!
This is Daiquiri Beebe with Abby Realty. Communication is key when it comes to a successful real estate transaction. Putting my clients first and helping them through the entire process is my passion. I know the neighborhoods in our community and those who live in them. I serve and volunteer with numerous organizations because I value Huntsville. You may have seen the Say Yes to Huntsville interviews or read my articles in the paper. I'm Daiquiri Beebe with Abby Realty, and I'd be honored to be your next real estate professional.
KSAM, your home for Hornets high school football. Back to the game, live from the Copeland Family Dentistry broadcast booth. Here's Rob Hipp and Brian Adams.
All right, friends, thanks for spending your Friday afternoon with us here on the home of the Hornets, 1017 KSAM and the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. Our second year bringing video to you. I know a few folks have text messaged me already. A little bit of issues with the video on that side. We're just working through a couple of kinks. That's why we do these. It's a scrimmage for us too,
game.
Brian.
Absolutely it is.
So, again, joined here with Brian Adams, and we'll have Hardwire Internet be back in business coming up next week as we start the season. What's really cool? 4 games at home to start the season. Of course, here we are on Hornet Field at Huntsville High School. This is where the new stadium is. And so if you look off, for those of you that are watching right now, you can see the trees behind you. For those of you listening, of course, you can't see it as the sun sets to the west, but beautiful tree scenery here. Those piney woods are so beautiful. That's where the home team side is going to be. Of course, you always have your home side with the sun behind you, right, so the visitors are in the sunshine. But it's just going to be so beautiful in the coming years here, Brian. Very excited about it.
Well, you know what, Rob? I was just talking with Ray Hernandez with the Chamber about that exact thing. We were just kind of visualizing what it's going to look like when the stadium is built and all the people that are out here now. When that stadium and that sports complex is completed, man, there's going to be people everywhere. And I look so forward to that. This whole thing is going to be such a game changer. And I'm just excited to be a part of this, watch these kids be able to put the pads on. And, man, what an exciting time for Huntsville Hornets.
Yeah. And the new field is already out there. They put in playing on it. This turf, they use a different type of substance. In a lot of the fields with this type of turf, you'll see the black pellets. Well, this doesn't have the black pellets. It has more of a blue pellet. I was told by Coach those absorb more. In turn, when you got water, things cool down. It's about 20 to 30% cooler on the field. But, Brian, don't mishear what I'm saying. It's still hot.
It's still hot. I mean, we're sitting out here, and it's the sun setting. It's almost 7 o'clock, and we're still sweating out here. But, yeah, you're right. That field, the technology they have nowadays in just about everything is unbelievable, especially in football and the safety issues and the things they're trying to do to protect players and things like that. Well, the AstroTurf, the technology they've done with that is just amazing. I mean, you think about 30 years ago, you were playing on grass fields, and then some people had turf, and it was just hard as a rock. Nowadays, it's amazing, Rob.
We heard from Coach there just a few moments ago on Southern Talk, an extended version. Those won't be that long throughout the season, but we wanted to bring you Coach's full perspective as we get in and start this season officially coming up next week as far as games go. But Coach mentioned some interesting points, some things to talk about. We've already mentioned the offense this season. He mentioned that 19 offensive linemen are practicing. That's the most that has been out there on the field in practice time under head coach Rodney Southern in his 8-year tenure here. As he said, that gives you a lot of flexibility, so now you can go too deep. Those O-linemen, unfortunately, those big bodies up front, they get injured, and you've got to bring other kids to come in and rest them. And so as this season progresses, having that too deep there, Brian, as you know, you played football, you were a quarterback, it's very important to have a strong line, and when someone goes down, to have someone come up that can step in their shoes.
Well, you got to be ready to play. It only takes one play, and then a new guy is in. So everybody has to always be prepared, Rob. And the good thing with a great program like the Hornets are in now is you got kids that want to be a part of that. So, and that helps the coaches, that helps all the position coaches, because they got players they can put in, high-quality players they can put in if, in fact, they need to do that. So that's the great thing. They got so many kids coming out. One of the funniest stories ever, when Coach Southern took over 8 years ago, comes out for summer workouts, and he had 15 kids show up. He just locked the doors. Nowadays, I mean, there are hundreds of kids showing up for workouts. I mean, the mentality, you talked about it earlier, the culture around here is completely different. It's all about winning and taking it to the next level.
We talk about these offensive linemen. Let's go over them real quick. And some great opportunities here for a couple of juniors. Chris Smith, the junior offensive lineman. Cesar Robledo. You talk about guys like Nathan Schweitzer. Of course, we know his parents, wonderful folks in the Huntsville community. Thomas Rose, a junior. Lane Taylor, a junior. Brandon Wiley, a junior. And Jadarius Smith, a junior. So, again, some of these guys played last year. Now as a junior, the offensive line has experience, but it's still young guys as well. Not maybe as young as on the defensive side, Brian. But again, you go too deep. A great opportunity this season for Huntsville to make another great run and hopefully get over that third round and move on.
Yeah, no question about it. And they have every chance in the world to do that. They've got the talent. It's like Coach Southern's hashtag, take it to the next step, take it to the next level. And, they've got the kids to do it. Again, you got to have a little luck. I mean, you can be the greatest team out there, but you got to have a little luck on your side. And I think this team has got the opportunity and I think got the skills and the talent to do that. It's going to be exciting to watch this year.
Well, speaking of talent, Coach believes in his freshmen. If they're out there and they've got the capability, he'll put them on the field. Got one on the roster this year. It's the safety, DeMarcus Williams. As we talk more about this season, again, Rob Hipp alongside Brian Adams, we heard from Coach, too, talking about Matthew Long, Trey Taylor, their leadership. Now, of course, as seniors, Matthew Long, something new about him, not only at that tight end position we saw in the Tau scrimmage just a week ago. Matthew Long out there also playing a defensive end, so he's going to get some opportunities on the defensive side as well this year.
And he is. And Matthew Long, he has grown up quite a bit. He's filled out, and he's gotten even faster, Rob. They're going to use him at tight end. They're going to have him standing up kind of almost in a slot position, but also on the defensive side, he is very quick, and he has gotten so much better. I could tell, with the Tau scrimmage, his improvement from last year. He is going to be a great asset for these Huntsville Hornets, in addition to all these other guys that they have coming back. I mean, they are loaded, and it is going to be fun.
Something exciting for those of you that watched last year. We talked about boiling the water, bring out the mac and cheese,
Yes,
baby.
did.
Well, guess what? Jalen McClain back on the field this season as a senior, the running back. You can guarantee that water's going to be hot and boiling this season for that young man.
Yeah, him and Butcher, he's coming back. I mean, you talking about Butcher. I mean, during the coaches show. This will be a fourth-year varsity player, and that kind of experience is going to translate into nothing but good things, good leadership. It's wonderful to have young kids like that have that kind of experience, Rob, because they can pass it down to these new guys, and it's just what you're looking for.
One of the solid leaders on the team, all of these young men leaders in their own right, but one of the solid, most talented leaders that has been here for 4 years now on varsity is Justin Butcher, the wide receiver. He's a senior. Brian is a former quarterback. Talk about that relationship with a 4-year varsity player.
Well, let me tell you, it's so important because you guys are on the same page without even having to talk. I mean, you've worked together so much. I mean, you can read each other's eyes. You know exactly when he is going to make a cut, or he's going to do a post, or he's going to do a flag, or what. You can just tell, and that is hugely important. And that's why I am so excited for A.J. Wilson, because he's got that talent out there that he can throw the ball to or release it into the flats if he gets in trouble, and they are going to be picking up some big-time yards.
We're continuing the season preview right here on the home of the Hornets, 101.7 KSAM and the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. For now, though, oh boy, we're looking over here as a young man took off, and there he is, Justin Butcher, with an incredible run there. Of course, we're just in a scrimmage. We don't do play-by-play of the scrimmage, but Butcher, we're going to see a lot of that this season.
Oh, he got around the corner and turned it upfield and just hit the Jets, and he was gone. Yeah, so you talk about exciting. That is what we're looking forward to. We just saw a little taste of that, and, man, it's going to be good stuff.
Again, we'll step aside. We'll be back in a few moments. When we come back, we'll talk to our good friend from University Heights Baptist Church, Mr. B.J. McMichael, and the impact and all of his hard work with the community regarding the recent bond that was passed just a few months ago. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. This is the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
Hi, I'm Kirby Kaysen, President at First Financial Bank. Please stop by and see us, whether it be for a commercial, consumer, mortgage loan, or new account. We have a huge array of products to make your banking easy and convenient. Whatever your banking needs may be, our team is here to help. We are proud to be a strong bank committed to our community and our customers. At First Financial, it's you first. Eat 'em up, cats. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, Huntsville sports fans, this is Robert Lindeman of HITTSS Solutions Realty. HITTSS Solutions serves the real estate needs of the Huntsville area. I would like to introduce you to Karen Denman.
Hey y'all, this is Karen Denman. As a lifelong resident of Huntsville, I am passionate about our community. HITTSS Solutions Realty wants to assist you with finding that piece of property that makes you feel at home. To get the ball rolling, visit us online at HITTSS.com.
HITTSS Solutions, a proud supporter of Huntsville Athletics. In God we trust, press on to win.
KSAM, your home for Hornets high school football. Back to the game, live from the Copeland Family Dentistry broadcast booth. Here's Rob Hipp and Brian Adams.
Well, maybe filling in for Brian Adams now, joined by my good friend, Mr. B.J. McMichael, as we're here. Just a scrimmage today, so we're not doing play-by-play, talking about the kids, talking about a lot of the great things happening in Huntsville. B.J. McMichael, you were instrumental, along with many in the community, leading the charge for the recent bond. Talk a little bit about that and just the process of going through that and what that was like.
It was just amazing. It's you know, to come out here and look at this field. I know they've been working on it, and this first time I've got to lay eyes on the new turf. It just looks great. The team, I was catching up with Ray because Ray's out here. You know, we went full court press for about 2-3 months, seeing each other, texting each other every day, emailing each other, getting into these conversations, and then once everything passed and we could all breathe out a big sigh of relief and celebration. And then getting to get back out here and just rub elbows with these guys, getting to see our Hornets out on the field, knowing what's coming, looking at these woods going, hey, something different's going to be over there. And, 2-3 years, our baseball, softball kids, it's just so exciting.
Some of those components already starting to come together as we have the new turf here laid at Hornet Field. But then in the coming months and over the next year and a half or so, we'll see that stadium start to be built. The home side just across from us, the visitor side will be behind us, but the field is already here. It's beautiful, and this is such an important step for the community, but most importantly for the kids. I know that, we get excited about it as people that are involved and see what's happening. But let's talk about the real meat of it. The real meat of it is these kids, even the kids that are graduating, they won't get to play on the new stadium, but they know that their little brothers, their sisters, and generations to come. Talk about the impact, BJ, as you're very involved with young people, the impact of helping those young people.
Oh, absolutely. It's huge. Even, graduated in my wife and I both graduated in 1993, and so we've been playing at Bauer Stadium. Before that, Pritchett Field. For those who have been in Huntsville a long time, Pritchett Field is where we used to play too. But being able to have these athletes be able to look forward to what is to come. I remember just past the woods, I was standing out there. It was a Friday before the Saturday of the main voting day. And I was just talking to parents in line, of course, down the line of Huntsville Elementary School, and being able to just share with them, hey, picture right in those woods over there. Does your kid play baseball? Does your little girl play softball? The answer was yes. Can you just picture out in those woods right there where you're parked that there's a new baseball, a new softball complex that so many kids would love to have, but they're more than willing to help build it. I mean, these kids have helped build a program along with their coaches. We can't say enough about our coaches, about our teachers, about our administrators, about and everything starting from the top with Dr. Shepard. Man, just watching these kids get to, it's funny. One of the kids was sharing with their parents the other day. They got something like food or something, and the kid's like, it's because the bond. Everything, for them, it's like, it's because the bond. But, the kids feel it. They feel the parents getting excited about it. They feel the community getting excited about it, and they get excited about it too. And, man, it's just going to be pretty amazing.
BJ, finally, before we let you go, again, BJ McMichael, student minister, University Heights Baptist Church. Appreciate all you do in the community. We've talked about the athletic side. Let's talk on the academic side. Every facility getting updates, getting upgrades. How important is that? Because it's not just about athletics, and that's something that we're always very clear about, letting folks know and informing people in the community. It's not just about athletics. It's for the entire district.
Oh, no, look at the way the school district started right off the bat. It was raises right off the bat. It was incentives to stay here in Huntsville teaching, because those who teach here in Huntsville, it's because they want to. They want to pour into this community. They want to pour into the lives of these students. And so what greater way than to pour back into those teachers and, those who are leading our children day to day. Mance Park is going to get a facelift. And anyone that's ever been in those gyms, and in the locker rooms there for those kids, they're old and they're used up. And so being able to watch that. But seeing these campuses, a new band hall at Mance Park Middle School, and then also seeing a new cafetorium that's going to take place of the building that's condemned, and just facelifts across the board, and not just buildings facelifts, but people facelifts. The excitement of our teachers and our administrators going, they have worked, because they work so hard to do what they're doing to get the ball rolling in a different direction. Handed us off to a little bit for a couple of months to help push it in the community, but then we handed the baton back, and all the hard work they've done, they get to continue to push it forward. So it's just going to be fun. Great, exciting.
Man. Well, BJ, always appreciate your positivity, the impact that you have on so many people here in our wonderful community. We're so blessed to have you as a friend, and most importantly, we're so blessed to live in one of the greatest cities in the Lone Star State right here in Huntsville, Texas. BJ, appreciate all you do. Hey, one quick question. Are you going to be with us? I know we haven't even really got football. We just now tipping the iceberg of football.
Yeah.
Are you going to be with me on a little bit of baseball this year?
You know what? It is a dream come true to be able to color commentate. So my answer is yes.
Awesome. Once again, BJ McMichael, appreciate you. We'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from Ray Hernandez, the president of the Huntsville-Walker County Chamber of Commerce, and a little bit of the economic impact this bond is going to have on our great community. Stay with us, friends. We'll be back in a moment. This is the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
This is the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. KSAM Huntsville, your hometown radio station.
On the campus of Sam Houston State University is the historical University Hotel. It's a heartbeat away from the campus center, Bauer Stadium, the Don Sanders Baseball Stadium, and the Sam Houston Memorial Museum. Dignitaries from all walks of life have been here. Let the hotel host your special events like graduation, holiday parties, or professional gatherings. Come stay, come visit, come see the University Hotel at Sam Houston State University, shsuhotel.org.
Hi, I'm Kirby Kaysen, president at First Financial Bank. Please stop by and see us, whether it be for a commercial, consumer, mortgage loan, or new account. We have a huge array of products to make make your banking easy and convenient. Your banking needs may be, our team is here to help. We are proud to be a strong bank committed to our community and our customers. At First Financial, it's you first. Eat 'em up cats. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Live from the Copeland Family Dentistry broadcast booth, Hornets High School football continues.
Hi, friends. Back at it here on a beautiful but warm Friday evening. I almost said Thursday. Rob Hipp here, joined now by a good friend and another leader in our community who is passionate about kids and passionate about the direction of Huntsville, Mr. Ray Hernandez from the Huntsville Walker County Chamber of Commerce, the president. Ray, good to have you, my friend. Good to have you back up, man.
Rob, thanks for the opportunity to come out and join you. What a beautiful day. We got a nice breeze blowing. Just fantastic, as heard from BJ just a second ago, looking over the field. If you haven't been out here to look at the new field, this is the first time I've laid eyes on it as well. It's fantastic. It's really just the start of some great things on the horizon.
Ray, a lot of good things happening in this community. We talked to BJ a moment ago about the impact just with the kids and those kind of things. Now, you're more on the business side of a lot of things. You understand the economics and how that plays into it. Talk a little bit about just the benefits that the community is going to see on the business side from these upgrades and the bond package going through.
Rob, I'll ask the community to, first of all, I want to say thank you for coming out and supporting, the bond. One of them passed at almost 80%. There's a lot of folks to thank for that. But when you look at what the impact is going to be, this is not just for today. This is just not for the 10 years from now. This is multi-generational. Down the road, really going to have a huge impact. And you just have to look around the state of Texas, look at some other communities. When I look at Louisville ISD in North Texas and when they passed the big bond and seeing the impact that's made there for those students and those communities, shortly after they passed that big bond, just so happened Mary Kay Cosmetics moved a $110 million facility from downtown Dallas to Louisville. You look at San Marcos. Shortly after San Marcos passed the bond, Amazon came into San Marcos, made San Marcos for a time the fastest growing city in the United States. We see that impact. We looked at the last census, just came out, the numbers, almost 9,000 new residents in the last 10 years coming to Huntsville and to Walker County. Some great things are on the horizon. I think we have the right people in place. Our president of the university, the leadership we have at the city, the leadership we have at the county, the hospital. We have a interim CEO in place right now. I think it's some great leadership in place. It's our time. So I hear the superintendent. I was at the invocation, or the first day when they had all the staff together, the convocation. And one of the things is this is our time. Now, today is the day. It's our day, and it is. And so we see it, and so great things on the horizon. I want to pause for just a second and say huge thanks to KSAM, Rob, to you, Steve, Dave Donahue there before, continued with that leadership with Tim there now. You guys played a huge role in helping us move this project, this effort forward, and we're just excited about that opportunity that's really going to lift all tides and really help build a stronger foundation for the economic fabric of our community.
Well, Ray, appreciate that, and we're all in it together. And one of the greatest joys for me as a broadcaster is telling stories and sharing stories, especially with these kids and seeing the smiles on so many faces. These kids understand what it meant to the community. They understand to them and what it means to their brothers and sisters that I talked about earlier, their families, the generations to come. These kids understand, they know what it is, and they've always been proud to be a Hornet. But as you said earlier, this is our time. These kids have never been more proud of this community. And I just want to say thank you to the community because everybody really stepped up, and it shows you,
Absolutely.
Hey, you care about what's happening, and it's just a great thing.
On a personal note, my son just started here at Huntsville High School last Thursday. He's enjoying his time there. I was visiting with the superintendent earlier and talking about his experience here at Huntsville High School, and he can feel that energy. He can feel that energy of what's happening in the community. He's new to this school district. We're excited to have him here, but we feel that energy, and he feels that. Coming from North Texas, and coming here, he says, Dad, you know what? It's a great school, and folks, I think, get it. He's really enjoying his classes and the academic side of what's happening here, and so we look forward to continued prosperity for all.
Awesome. Well, Ray, we appreciate you and just talking to so many in the community. The great things are happening. And one thing, you're at the chamber breakfast there that happens once a month, and Ray is all in. Ray is in a suit, and I'm going to tell you out there listening, Ray will sometimes have an orange, a nice pennant to represent Sam Houston, but I can say the last breakfast, it was Huntsville Hornet Green. So I know you're all in, right?
Absolutely. We definitely are. You know, and it's just those little pieces, right? We're all listening together. You know, I appreciate the comments of what the Chamber's doing, but it takes many hands to lift up this community. Many hands, many people in the background. BJ McMichaels of the world, and Holly and Michelle Spencer, and so many other people that you'll never hear their name. But I promise you, there's tons of folks cheering for the kids, cheering for our community, and we're going to get it done. We're going to work hard. We're going to stay focused. We're going to keep our head down and do the right things at the right time, the right place, because now is our time.
Awesome. Ray, appreciate you. I'm sure we'll talk throughout the season. I'm sure we'll have an opportunity for an intern sound engineer.
Excellent.
We'll see if we can benefit from your services again this season, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rob.
We'll step aside. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll hear from a school board member, Mr. Ken Holland. Stay with us as we talk more about the upcoming season and hear from those in our community that are directly involved with the school district and the business community. And we'll continue, of course, talking about our kids. We'll be back in a moment on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza! Oh man, it's so good! You've never tasted pizza this good! Be sure to check out the Dumpster Fire! Loaded with 17 toppings and 6 naked wings! 5 pounds of pizza! Only $25.99! And includes 4 dipping sauces at Fat Boys Pizza! Check them out at Facebook.com/Fat Boys Pizza Trailer, or make the short drive up Highway 19 in Riverside. Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza proudly supports the Hornets! Sting 'em!
Advantage Specialties is your one-stop shop for promotions. Need a logo on a shirt or hat? Advantage Specialties provides embroidery in-house. This helps to make the process fast and affordable. What about promotional products, banners, signs? Advantage Specialties can help get your name on virtually anything. For custom in-house embroidery, promotional products, printing, and much more, check out AdvantageSpecialties.com. That's AdvantageSpecialties.com. Eat 'em up, cats, and sting 'em, Hornets.
Live from the Copeland Family Dentistry broadcast booth, Hornets High School football continues.
All right, friends, welcome back as we preview this season, talking to folks in the community, talking about our kids. Before we talk to another good friend of ours, wanted to mention my good friend over at Hook's Family Farm. Jellies, preserves, maple and blueberry syrup. Here in a minute, Brian and I are actually going to pull that out and eat some of it. She brought it to us. And in fact, the home games, we're going to be snacking on that this year. So we appreciate you, Miss Ashlyn Hooks. It's a little bit difficult tonight with our setup here. I didn't know that our setup was going to be the way it is, and so we haven't been able to show that food yet. But if you're looking for maple, blueberry syrup, variety of pickles, you can find them on Facebook and at the downtown Huntsville Farmers Market every Saturday from 8 to noon. They also deliver. Call them at 936-581-6044 and have all that good stuff delivered straight to your door. Ken Holland, you hungry, man? What's going on, my friend?
Well, yes, I am, and I'd like to just say that I buy from Hooks as well. Their blackberry jelly is really good, and they have an apple butter spread for bagels.
Man. Well, she brought it. It's right behind me, man.
I'm going to take it.
Yeah, we're gonna dig into that in a little bit. Well, Ken, with the school board and unopposed, so another term coming up. You've done such a great job. Talk a little bit about just this community and your leadership role and being involved with the school board. What has that been like, and what are some of the great things that you've seen for our kids here in Huntsville?
Well, it's been a pleasure to serve on the school board, and we have a great group of leaders in our community. Obviously, Trey Wharton is our president, and Rissy and Tracy, JT, Kathy is a new person, Karen. We all work as a team, and we all have the best interests of the district in mind and what we're trying to do. And so it's exciting to be a part of that team of individuals, and we're all different. We're all coming from different parts of the community and putting our input in, and it's just been a joy to be a part of that with Dr. Shepard and his administrative team. It's just been really exciting for me personally to be involved in that.
There's a lot of really exciting things happening. Of course, facilities getting upgraded on the academic side. How important is that for our kids and those facelifts that are going to be in all of our facilities, not just one or two things, not just athletics, but across the entire district?
Right. Rob, one of the main things that I was excited about in our bond proposition was the realignment of grades. And that gets overlooked a lot when you start talking about, upgrading facilities and this, that, and the other. But realignment of grades to where we reduced the transitions from 5 campuses to 3. You have a longer runway from pre-K to 5th grade. You move 6th grade into a junior high setting, and then obviously high school. You have more opportunities, a longer runway with kids to develop and build relationships and things of that nature. So But to do that, we had to do campus additions and upgrades at each campus. There is no campus in our district that's going to go untouched with this bond project. So from the academic side, that's what I'm really excited about. But also from an academic side, when you have great extracurricular activities, whether it's football like tonight, you have basketball, you have volleyball, track, you have a fine arts program with band, choirs, dance, theater. All of those come together and get our kids involved at a level. One, if you're going to be involved in those extracurriculars, you have to pass your courses, right? So you have to do well academically. And we don't want them to just pass. We want them to excel. But it gives them a reason to show up, to be involved, to do better in class. And we see that. There's data behind, those kind of activities helping in the academic realm.
Just watching some plays here as this varsity scrimmage continues, talking to Ken Holland on the school board here at Huntsville ISD. And Ken, talking about this year and these kids, I mentioned earlier, 8 defensive players lost because, of course, they moved on. The offensive line, the offensive side looking pretty mature. What were you impressed with last year, and what are you excited about this year, Ken?
Well, the impressive thing about last year was just the way both sides of the ball played, but especially on defense. I mean, you had the Bobineau brothers and, different key contributors, and some of them that we get back. But you did lose quite a bit of talent on the defensive side. But, coming back, our offense is really strong, a lot of talent there and a lot of experience on that side. It's going to be really exciting, coming off of a year where you go undefeated all the way through the regular season and then deep into the playoffs. Expectations are high. And, I think coming out here, and I don't know, you'll probably bring this up, but, this new field, the excitement that the kids are seeing. And I'll tell you what, I was out here for freshman JV, and usually the radiating heat off of the field is unbearable. And I was standing over there in jeans and a polo, and it was nice. And so that makes a big difference when you're able to practice and play in a situation where you're not being beat up by the heat.
And one thing, we talked about that because of the new fill that's in the actual field. You used to see those black pellet granules. Well, now it's more of a blue granule, if you will, kind of a bluish rubber component. I'm not a chemist or whatever it is, Ken, but all that I know is I was told that it absorbs water better, and it makes that field 20 to 30% cooler. And we pointed that out earlier in your first hand. You were standing right over there by it, and on a day like today, you could actually feel that difference. So. But, Ken, again, just very thankful for you and your friendship. And as we continue to move forward, you've talked a lot about this community, how things are going to progress. We've talked about what's been exciting this season. We're going to have you up in the booth. And you helped me out run a camera a couple times for basketball last year, man, so thank you for that.
I did, and it's going to be difficult this year. I have 2 girls. My son was in band last year, so we were dividing between football and volleyball. Both my girls are on the JV team, so I'm going to be a road warrior. And I don't know what type of football games I'll be able to get to at halftime or whatever, but we'll I'm glad we have some Thursday night games and things of that nature, so we'll make it work. But I just appreciate Rob, what you and K-Sam and what Brian means to this community, how the enthusiasm that you bring to the radio broadcast and the Facebook exposure, and getting all of our community partners, our local businesses involved. That's happened because you guys have brought energy to that. And it all works together, and it's just fun. I mean, I love talking to Brian Adams, and he's always excited. And the great thing about it is I'm a Bearcat too. Y'all being able to have a national championship call, every time I hear that little clip on the radio, and Brian says unbelievable and all this. I mean, it just gets everybody charged up,
Sure.
and you guys bring that to us.
Well, we want to feed that, and of course, it's about our friends here in Huntsville and this community. So, Ken, appreciate all you do. I'm sure we'll talk to you throughout the season. We'll have you on some of our special programs that we're working on. So I'll tease you with that. I'm working on a couple of ideas, so we'll see if we can get you on and chat with us once in a while. Ken Holland, everyone, appreciate you, Ken. And we're going to step aside. We'll take a break for a few minutes. When we come back, Brian and I will talk a little bit more about this one and look ahead to this season, talking about that schedule and more. Stay with us. We'll be on for a little bit longer right here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
This is BJ McMichael, Minister of Students and Outreach at University Heights Baptist Church. I'm a proud 1993 Hornet graduate and 1998 Bearcat graduate. Here at University Heights, we cultivate people who make Jesus known by the lives we live and the conversations we have. This happens through three primary relationships: relationship with God, each other, and the world. We have some exciting next-gen ministry opportunities for all our birth through 12th grade Hornets and future Bearcats. Our weekly schedule and worship times are available online at uhbc.net or through our UHBC apps. Sting 'em Hornets and eat 'em up Cats.
The Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club thanks the Huntsville community for your support of Hornet football. Are you interested in knowing more about the Hornet football program? Would you like to be involved? Meetings and membership are open to the public. Please like the page on Facebook, search for Huntsville Hornet Football, or go to facebook.com/Huntsville ISD Hornet Football. You can watch Hornet football live all season long at ksam1017.com. Join the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club today. Sting 'em, Hornets!
This is Daiquiri Beebe with Abbey Realty. Communication is key when it comes to a successful real estate transaction. Putting my clients first and helping them through the entire process is my passion. I know the neighborhoods in our community and those who live in them. I serve and volunteer with numerous organizations because I value Huntsville. You may have seen the Say Yes to Huntsville interviews or read my articles in the paper. I'm Daiquiri Beebe with Abbey Realty, and I'd be honored to be your next real estate professional.
Hi, I'm Kirby Kaysen, President at First Financial Bank. Please stop by and see us, whether it be for a commercial, consumer, mortgage loan, or new account. We have a huge array of products to make your banking easy and convenient. Whatever your banking needs may be, our team is here to help. We are proud to be a strong bank committed to our community and our customers. At First Financial, it's you first. Eat 'em up Cats. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza! Oh man, it's so good! You've never tasted pizza this good! Be sure to check out the Dumpster Fire! Loaded with 17 toppings and 6 naked wings! 5 pounds of pizza! Only $25.99! And includes 4 dipping sauces at Fat Boys Pizza! Check them out at Facebook.com/Fat Boys Pizza Trailer, or make the short drive up Highway 19 in Riverside. Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza proudly supports the Hornets! Sting 'em!
This is Robert Lindeman of HITTSS Solutions Player Development, helping instruct the stars to shine. HITTSS Solutions Player Development teaches the fundamentals of baseball and softball with proven offensive and defensive strategies and techniques. We instruct and inspire each player to be the best they can be by teaching the mental side of the game. To have the confidence to bring in the game-winning hit, visit us online at HITTSS.com. HITTSS Solutions, a proud supporter of Huntsville Athletics. In God we trust, press on to win.
This is BJ McMichael, Minister of Students and Outreach at University Heights Baptist Church. I'm a proud 1993 Hornet graduate and 1998 Bearcat graduate. Here at University Heights, we cultivate people who make Jesus known by the lives we live and the conversations we have. This happens through three primary relationships: relationship with God, each other, and the world. We have some exciting next-gen ministry opportunities for all our birth through 12th grade Hornets and future Bearcats. Our weekly schedule and worship times are available online at uhbc.net or through our UHBC apps. Sting 'em Hornets and eat 'em up Cats.
Live from the Copeland Family Dentistry broadcast booth, Hornets High School football continues.
All right, friends, welcome back. Rob Hipp alongside Brian Adams as we'll wind down here. We'll probably take one more brief break in a second. But, Brian, so far a good night. I know we haven't talked a lot about the actual scrimmage that's going on. It's hard to call a scrimmage, but we've seen some big plays. The one thing that I've been impressed with, Calvin Simmons on the defensive side, he bulked up in this offseason.
Yeah, he has.
I joked around with him at Tau scrimmage, and I said, man, you've really bulked up a lot. And I'm not talking. He's put on muscle weight. And he said, well, man, you ought to come work out with us. I said, brother, I would only last about maybe 30 seconds. But we're going to see great things from Calvin this year. And then that leadership under A.J. Wilson. Had a chance to talk to his wonderful mother earlier. She was there signing up Hornet buddies alongside our good friend, Miss Kendra Shelley. Of course, Kendra is Bun Shelley's mother.
Yep.
Just wonderful folks here again in Huntsville. And they both have been very impressed with how things have progressed, especially under head coach Rodney Southern's leadership. These young men have bought into a culture, and they are here to show that, hey, we're champions. And they've done that. They won district last year undefeated, and they're looking for that bigger prize coming up, Brian.
It's such amazing to watch these kids. You know, Vince Lombardi said, winning is not anything, it's everything. And, that's kind of Rodney Southern's approach here. I mean, we're here to win and to win it all. And along the way, teach these kids to be young men, because eventually they're going to graduate and they're going to be out in the real world, and they're going to take the things they've learned here in high school, here on the football field, and they're going to use those out in the real world. So, yeah, the community participation, the parents, the booster club, all of the quarterback club, and everybody that's here and that helps. I need to say a quick shout-out. Stephanie Pitts, I want to thank you for everything you do. I hope you guys are having a good time in Oxford, Mississippi with Peyton, and look forward to seeing you when you get back. But everybody,
and we got cool shirts on.
And we got cool shirts out of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
But
look at this, Brian.
big
Here
play.
we go again.
Big play right there.
We've seen 2 of them here so far in this ball game. Now, no, of course, you on the radio, you can't see it, but once again, that was Cornelius Lawrence, the senior wide receiver. We saw big plays earlier by Justin Butcher, and now a very big pass to Cornelius Lawrence as he ran it, almost took it to the house, 60-plus yards. This is what we're talking about. This wide receiver core is going to be extremely dangerous if you're an opponent this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little earlier, we saw A.J. Wilson, and Matt McRobert, the punter for Sam Houston, is here watching and supporting these Hornets. I was talking to him, and A.J. Wilson threw 2 beautiful passes that were about 60 yards in the air. And what makes him so good is he throws catchable footballs. And you're right, Rob, with that talented receiver core the Hornets have, I mean, they are going to light up the score this year.
They're trying to punch it in here, and Lufkin, of course, this is a solid team. We were at Lufkin last year, so it's good to have them. A lot of wonderful folks from the Lufkin community as well. Brian, we're going to step aside. We'll take a break here in just a few moments briefly because we've got to sign off after this next break. But I wanted to get in real quick. I promised Miss Ashton. She brings us food every home game. And, Brian, what do we got on the table here, man?
Man, we have a
– Hold on. What do we got here, Brian?
Well,
show us this real quick.
Look at this.
Now, if you're on the camera, you can see this. But, Brian, for the radio audience, look at this. Blueberry syrup. This stuff, for a minute I thought it was something else, Brian, but it looks really good.
It is really good. I had the opportunity to take a little bit of taste a little earlier. It's outstanding. I mean, we have all kinds of things. We have biscuits. We have waffles, crackers. We have all kinds of jalapeno jelly.
Oh, man.
It's just amazing stuff. And we want to thank her for bringing this up and being one of our sponsors this year. I mean, just incredible items.
We told her, we said, we're not going to deny food. Brian, take a bite of this waffle real quick,
All right,
man.
so here we go. This is what we're doing here. Hopefully it doesn't end up all over the table.
Brian pouring a little bit of this blueberry syrup here on the waffle. Here goes Brian Adams for the radio audience.
Can everybody see that? Here we go.
Brian has now pulled it in. His mouth is opening, the extension and the bite.
Good.
Brian, it's good. Well, we appreciate Ashton. We told her that we'd get that on. She's going to be bringing us fruit all season, so we appreciate her, and we'll definitely be giving her a lot of love this season, so we appreciate you. Again, you can catch them at the downtown Huntsville Farmers Market every Saturday from 8 to noon. They deliver also 936-581-6044 and have all that good stuff delivered to your door. We'll step aside. We'll take one final break. When we come back, we'll quickly go over this upcoming schedule this season. Stay with us. The final segment coming up as we preview Huntsville Hornet football on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
On the campus of Sam Houston State University is the historical University Hotel. It's a heartbeat away from the campus center, Bauer Stadium, the Don Sanders Baseball Stadium, and the Sam Houston Memorial Museum. Dignitaries from all walks of life have been here. Let the hotel host your special events like graduation, holiday parties, or professional gatherings. Come stay. Come visit. Come see the University Hotel at Sam Houston State University, shsuhotel.org.
Advantage Specialties is your one-stop shop for promotional needs. Need a logo on a shirt or hat? Advantage Specialties provides embroidery in-house. This helps to make the process fast and affordable. What about promotional products, banners, signs? Advantage Specialties can help get your name on virtually anything. For custom in-house embroidery, promotional products, printing, and much more, check out AdvantageSpecialties.com. That's AdvantageSpecialties.com. Eat 'em up, cats, and sting 'em, Hornets.
Hometown proud, Hornet strong. KSAM is your hometown radio station.
All right, friends, welcome back. Rob Hipp from the Copeland Family Dentistry broadcast booth as we're sitting here watching a little football action going on. A.J. Wilson not out there. Of course, this is a scrimmage. A.J. Wilson not out there now. We saw him earlier, now going through some of the second-string guys. And Jawan Giddens, a sophomore running back, was throwing the ball a little bit. In fact, he had a big run a while ago, and now he just played quarterback a few seconds ago. I think that's a name that we're going to be seeing a lot of, definitely as this season goes on.
Well, Coach Southern has to have guys that are backups. Some of these starters at certain positions are going to be backups in other positions, and you're going to need somebody to back up A.J. Wilson because you never know. And that right there was a good pass. I mean, it was just a go route on the sidelines. He laid it up, allowing the receiver to run underneath it, and that's what you want to have a quarterback do. Lead your receiver, let him run underneath it. That was a good pass.
Well, Brian, we talked earlier just about how this season is going to shape up with some changes on the defensive side, losing those 8 starters, but the offense looking solid. The defense getting some reps in here so far tonight. And let's go over that schedule. Of course, last year it wasn't an easy schedule. The Hornets are picked to win district again this season, currently ranked number 5 in the preseason poll. And you know what, though? You talk to Coach Southern, and he'll say, I don't care about the rankings. We just want to get out here and win like every game is 1-0.
Sure.
So as this season goes on, of course, here tonight, just the scrimmage. But then a week from tonight, can you believe that, Brian? A week from tonight at Bowers Stadium. Again, there's been an opportunity for Huntsville be back at Bowers, which is nice for another year or two while this stadium is being built here, of course. But we'll open up the season senior night. So they're going to get those senior nights and those kind of things out of the way early in this season. But again, it will be senior night at Bowers, 7:30 p.m. next week. These first 4 games all at home. We move into September on the 3rd, homecoming. So we go from senior night to homecoming, all non-district play, by the way, versus Willis. We were at Willis last year. Brian, you got to do a little play-by-play in that game last year. It was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I put you on the spot. I said, Brian, I'll be back in a moment, and I just threw the headset to you. You did a great job.
We had a great time.
I had to throw you in there early, man.
Yep, good stuff.
Go a week from there. We'll be versus Kingwood High School. That one also back at home at 7:30. And then on the road, about an hour and a half to C.E. King High School in Houston. That at Sheldon ISD Panther Stadium. That is a 7 o'clock kickoff. The week following, we'll be back at Bowers facing Brian Rudder at Bowers, 7:30. We move into October facing A&M Consolidated. That is an away game this year at Tigerland Stadium. That one starting at 7:30. We go to October the 8th versus Lamar Consolidated back at home, 7:30. And then Friday the 15th, that's the bye week. We go to the 21st of October. That'll be Lake Creek High School at Bear Stadium in Montgomery. Then the following week, back at home versus Montgomery. So we'll play Lake Creek, and then Montgomery will come to us. And then to finish out the season, Lamar Fulshire, of course, in conference play. That will be on the road. So we'll finish out the season on a Thursday night road game this year. That, I believe, is the only, actually 2 Thursday night games. The one at Lake Creek will be on Thursday, and then the one versus Lamar Fulshire will be on Thursday. Boy, that jalapeno jelly got to me, Brian. It's so good, man.
Well, it is good. It sure was.
Brian, closing remarks before we sign off tonight, and we'll be back next week, my friend.
Man, I'm just, Rob, this is my favorite time of year. I say it all the time. You know, when you start getting through August and September rolls around and football is here, the weather eventually starts cooling off. I love it. I'm excited for the Huntsville Hornets. I am excited for the Sam Houston Bearcats. I see championship football once again for both the Hornets and the Bearcats, and I'm just glad to be beside you, Rob, doing something, being a part of something I really love.
We'll have the games. We'll have the video issues fixed next week as we have hardwire internet. You won't have to worry about that. We'll have Melton alongside and TJ back with us. Those 2 young men, Melton Green, TJ Garrett, did such a weird. Nathan Hype makes his way all the way from Georgetown to help us out. That's a 3-hour drive, man. So
I know it.
Appreciate Nathan, of course, you, Brian, and everyone back at KSAM Studio. Steve Ricks, our Director of Operations. Tim Johnson, our General Manager. I want to thank Jordan as well, and also Carlos Zimmerman. Those guys do some wonderful work for us. Friends, for the final time tonight, I'm Rob Hipp for Brian Adams. We'll see you next week, 7:30 kickoff live from Bauer Stadium. Get your tickets. Come on out. Support the Bearcats. Brian, on the count of 3, sting them. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Sting them. As I end every broadcast, reminding you tonight that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other, friends. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there tonight needs you. Good night, Huntsville, and God bless from Hornet Stadium.
This is B.J. McMichael, Minister of Students and Outreach at University Heights Baptist Church. I'm a proud 1993 Hornet graduate and 1998 Bearcat graduate. Here at University Heights, we cultivate people who make Jesus known by the lives we live and the conversations we have. This happens through 3 primary relationships: relationship with God, each other, and the world. We have some exciting next-gen ministry opportunities for all our birth through 12th grade Hornets and future Bearcats. Our weekly schedule and worship times are available online at uhbc.net or through our UHBC apps. Sting 'em Hornets and eat 'em up Cats.
The Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club thanks the Huntsville community for your support of Hornet football. Are you interested in knowing more about the Hornet football program? Would you like to be involved? Meetings and membership are open to the public. Please like the page on Facebook, search for Huntsville Hornet Football, or go to facebook.com/Huntsville ISD Hornet Football. You can watch Hornet football live all season long at KSAM1017.com. Join the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club today. Sting 'em, Hornets!
Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza! Oh man, it's so good! You've never tasted pizza this good! Be sure to check out the Dumpster Fire! Loaded with 17 toppings and 6 naked wings! 5 pounds of pizza! Only $25.99! And includes 4 dipping sauces at Fat Boys Pizza! Check them out at Facebook.com/Fat Boys Pizza Trailer, or make the short drive up Highway 19 in Riverside. Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza! Fat Boys Pizza proudly supports the Hornets! Sting 'em!
Today's best country from today's biggest stars, plus the country legends you'll never forget. We are your hometown radio station, 101.7 KSAM.